Good evening, everybody. We're going to be starting this stream in just about 15 seconds. Wanted to give people a little bit of time to get on because we have a lot to talk about today. I know that there's been a lot in the news. Unfortunately, this is just going to be a weather only stream. So we are going to dive into the latest on Tropical Storm Francine, the latest on Francine. So we'll dive into that. Some local impacts are in the works for us as well, and that's something that we're going to dive into. Once again, just going to give everybody about 5 to 10 more seconds to jump on, and then we can dive into the nitty gritty of the latest details. I know that a lot of folks are wondering what's going on with this system, and we can dive into that in just a couple of seconds. So I'm also sharing this on my page so that some folks that are, you know, intimately impacted by this can. Oh, oops. I've been muted. So, good evening. I apologize, everybody. Thank you to my producer for letting me know that. I thought I pressed unmute. So, you guys saw the latest on the storm. I guess I should dial back just a second. Wind sustained at 65 miles per hour. It's intensified a little bit over the course of the day today. And right now, it's about 10 miles per hour shy of being a hurricane. So, a strong tropical storm. And you can see that that cloud deck extends across not only the western Gulf of Mexico, but it's interacting with a boundary that's across southern Georgia and Alabama. So that's why you see cloud cover stretching all the way into Florida, South Georgia, south of Valdosta, and all those other places. Let's get you with the latest track update. But by doing that, I want to take a look at a lot of different models because we don't just trust one model here. We look at a lot of models, and we also look at model trends. And something that has been trending for, I'd say, the last 12 hours or so, a lot of the data has been shifting this system a little bit further eastward and bringing it in a little bit faster. Bringing it in faster, obviously a good thing. It has less time out over those warm Gulf waters, but also shifting it further east means that right now it does look like a Louisiana landfall is likely. And I know there's a lot of people that are joining us on YouTube and probably just watching our streaming channel right now that are in places like Lake Charles, places like Southwest Louisiana that have been impacted by several strong hurricanes over the course of the last few years. I can think of Laura, I can think of Delta and Zeta. Just to think of a few, and I know that those folks, a lot of them are still rebuilding, and I can say that because I'm from that part of the country. I'm from Southwest Louisiana, so I know a lot of my friends, family, fraternity brothers, all that stuff. They're just getting back into their homes and stuff like that after some of these storms. So it does appear that the guidance is shifting us a little bit further east. Still going to get some impacts. I want to talk about what happens beyond that. It'll lift further north, and we're going to be dealing with some of those impacts closer to Georgia. So eventually that is going to impact our forecast at home. Here is the latest National Hurricane Center's best track, and something to take away from this, which is something that we try to explain every time we're in hurricane season and we're dealing with these systems. This cone of uncertainty means that the center of circulation can go anywhere within that cone. I know that kind of a lot of viewers, a lot of people that aren't meteorologists, whenever they see this, even some of our producers here in the newsroom, when you see this cone, you think that the forecast is for it to pass in the center. And it's technically not. That center line is just there to kind of give you a guide. But that center of circulation can go either way, any side of that cone. So right now we say this to say that we think that a Louisiana hurricane Cat 2 landfall is likely sometime either late Tuesday night. I'm talking about after 12 a.m., early morning, or by the afternoon. It's just going to really depend on that forward speed. But a Cat 2 hurricane is likely as it moves inland. It will eventually weaken and lift further towards the north. I want to show you guys one of my favorite models to look at for tropical systems, and this is going to be the Euro model for a lot of people that are weather fanatics. What's happening here is that we can see that these isobars tighten, and that's why we think that this system is going to undergo at least some sort of intensification that's going to be rapid. We're going to see those winds kick up pretty quickly as it's moving over what is actually a very warm plume of water, which is part of the equation, but that warm layer is also very deep, right? So you have sea surface temperatures that are warm at the top, but it goes down far into the Gulf, right? So essentially that's just the source of energy for these storms. And whenever these storms kind of pass through, they typically churn up the waters, right? But if you're churning up the waters and what's coming from below is still very warm, you're not going to get that cooling like you would get from like an upwelling situation. Or sometimes whenever those storms are further out in the Atlantic and they don't move fast, sometimes the forecast can be shifted because cooler waters is coming up from the bottom. We're not expecting that to be a scenario here. So there's going to be a lot of energy that this system will be able to tap into. And that's why the forecast is for it to intensify into a hurricane and get at least a Cat 2 status. That's something we're watching. We're going to continue to look at the data. I will say from model runs earlier today to the secondary ones that came in this afternoon and the ones that are still coming in right now, it does appear that each time we've gotten new information, the guidance has been that this is going to be a little bit stronger. So this is something that is, of course, concerning, something we'll have to watch because people on the Gulf Coast, especially in my part of the world, Southwest Louisiana, they're very used to these storms rapidly intensifying, and it can be quite scary. You know, you find out, you go to sleep one night and it's a Cat 1, you wake up, it's a Cat 4. We're not, once again, not forecasting that. We're just saying that we're going to monitor the forecast trends because this could get nudged up, 110, 115 as far as those winds are concerned. So that's something that we're going to fine tune. A lot of folks, people down there, just tell them, hey, listen, especially the further, I'd say the further Lafayette-ish area that you are, looks like this system has shifted a little bit that way. And if you are on the east side of where that center makes landfall, you're going to get some serious impacts. That's also where the greatest instability will be. So that's where we could see some rotating cells at landfall. So that could equal some spin ups. So just reasons to stay weather aware if you're in that area. I know that we're in Georgia, so I'm going to dial back, but I just wanted to kind of dive into what's going on there just because I know a lot of folks from home are here, and I know a lot of you are curious as well. So this model takes this system in a little bit further east. So this is looking like it's going to be somewhere in that Abbeville-ish Morgan City area as far as landfall. But once again, impacts are not just there. This isn't a tornado where it just impacts Abbeville. But you guys all know that. So I do think that folks, right now, the way this is trending, folks that are out towards Port Arthur, you're going to get some impacts. You're going to get some gusty winds. But as far as those 50, 60, 70 miles per hour gusts, that looks like that's going to be a Southwest Louisiana thing. It looks like those winds are going to be a little bit weaker just based off of some of the guidance that we're seeing over the course of I'd say the last 6 hours or so. But once again, this is something that we're continuing to monitor because the system is actually going to get caught up with a different setup and get pushed towards the northeast. That's what the forecast is, and the guidance is trying to determine how far east it goes, and that's where the question mark is. So anyways, it'll eventually lift northward, and that will bring some of that energy our way. So we'll have to watch for some of this rain. It's going to come in waves. It's first alert weather day, Thursday, Friday. Could see this extended into Saturday just based off of some of the guidance that we're seeing right now. But we expect rain, some of that to be on the heavier side, possibly some thunder and lightning by Friday. And anytime that you're on the right side of a tropical system, spin-ups can't be ruled out. It just can't because that's where you just have the most of the ingredients being there. So that's something we'll be watching as we head closer to the event. For now, 81 degrees and not a bad evening across the region. Temperatures will fall through the overnight hours. I think we'll be near 68 degrees here in Atlanta, but Atlanta, warmer than everywhere else around us. If you're outside of the city, upper 50s, lower 60s to kickstart the day. I know a lot of folks are probably out checking out John Legend right now. It's a vibe out there. The weather is amazing. So this evening, tonight, great. Heading into the day tomorrow, sunshine's really going to dominate. We have high pressure to the north, but it's going to be pulling away, and that's going to allow for clouds to build in later in the evening. So expecting more cloud cover tomorrow night versus what we see tonight. and that will at least slow down the warm up on Wednesday. For now, tomorrow's looking great. It's looking summer-ish. We should be in the mid 80s. We're going to be a little bit warmer than that, upper 80s. The forecast high for us is 89 degrees. Really gorgeous day tomorrow. If you're not working tomorrow, you have a day off. I'm actually off tomorrow. I might go hang out by the pool. It's going to feel nice. Wednesday, the clouds return, and these are going to be clouds that are associated with Francine as it moves inland. I still think we're dry Wednesday, but if you're in places like Cleveland, Randolph County, Alabama, you can see a spotty shower sometime late Wednesday evening. I'm not expecting this to be a major production, so we're not even adding a rain chance for it, but just be aware that if a little bit of drizzle hits your head and you have to throw that windshield wiper on the first lever, yeah, that's that 10% rain we told you about. This isn't going to be a biggie. More rain opportunities heading into Thursday and Friday. They're both first alert weather days. Once again, neither of these days are going to be washouts, right? This is going to come in waves. These are going to be the outer bands of that system as it's lifting towards the north, coming in and out of our area. So we expect there to be some showers and storms, probably sometime afternoon, evening, and then it gets lighter, and then another wave of it will come in on Friday, and then it'll shift out. And then the guidance kind of has the system kind of meandering around, which means that the instability will be around. There's also another system that's going to be pushing in from the southeast, and we do think that the combination of the gradient there just could lead to some showers sticking around Saturday into Sunday and Monday. I wanted to take a look at some of our rain total forecasts between now and Saturday, and I will preface this with saying I think this model is being a little bullish with our rain totals, but I do think that 1 to 2 inches of widespread rain is likely. There could be some isolated spots that pick up 3, but right now that's about as good as I think, as wet as we're going to get. This isn't bad news for us. Most of our area is abnormally dry, and portions of West Georgia is under a moderate drought. So we could use the rainfall. You know, we've been in and out of droughts all summer because we get rain. You know, I think it was, what month is this? This is September, August, July. In July, we picked up like 14 inches of rain, and then it was real shaky last month, right? And, you know, now we have another chance to get a couple more inches, so we'll take that rain. So looking forward to that. Unfortunately, that just means we're in a very unsettled weather pattern as we head towards the end of the week. We're telling you now, you're alerted, so you can make your plans ahead. If you have the First Alert Weather app, of course, the weekend stuff will be a little bit, you know, hit or miss, whereas this stuff that comes in waves Thursday and Friday, you'll be seeing it on our First Alert radar as it swings in and swings out. Because of the clouds, because of all of the rain, temperatures are going to trend a little bit cooler heading into Thursday, Friday. I think tomorrow's a good day. Get out and enjoy it. I'm going to be running tomorrow, trying to get, you know, the summer body back because apparently I slept on it all summer. Clouds build back in Wednesday, and that's going to trend those temperatures down just a little bit, but we're still pretty dry. So if you have some things that you want to get done, like yard work and stuff like that, before the rain comes, you want to, you know, get the lawn mowed and, you know, get all the leaves and stuff, whatever. Do that now, tomorrow, Wednesday, because the rain chances come in, and unfortunately we're going to be unsettled through the weekend and into the beginning of next week. Y'all are really quiet in the comments on YouTube, so I'm going to let y'all live. I've been here for about 14 minutes. I always tell you that I'm going to keep you for a good time, not a long time. So I'm going to roll out. I do know that our team is working on some other stuff. Obviously, the school shooting is still front of mind for everybody in our area. It's still front of mind in the newsroom. There's been some new developments that have occurred over the course of the day. We got some video from when the suspect was actually interviewed a year ago by the police, him and his dad, and just kind of jarring to just see that interview, number one, to know that this is the kid that, you know, committed this act. But questions are being asked. A lot of people are wondering, you know, why wasn't more done? Our reporter team reached out to some lawyers and some other prosecutors to determine, you know, was the ball dropped, and they're going to bring that information to you tonight at 10 and 11 on Orlando News First. But obviously, it's just kind of been it's been a tough week, right? If I'm not mistaken, I feel like I heard someone in the newsroom say that some of the kids are going to be allowed to go back to school tomorrow. I'm not sure if that's to be in session or to get their belongings, but you know, they're going to be back on the premises where, you know, the last time they were there, you know, this was, I can't imagine, you know, I grew up in the era after, they pick on me the way I say Columbine, but I think I said it right. In the era after Columbine. So school shootings were a thing, but it was like, that was a one-off. So we weren't scared every day, and we didn't have this trauma to go through. And so, kids today, you got to say that extra prayer or grace or whatever you believe in doing, because that's a stressful thing to just go to want to go to school to learn to figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life, to play with your friends and play sports and stuff like that, and have something your innocence kind of taken away. That is, wait, let me take this down so that it's, yeah, there we go. It's something to deal with. So our team is bringing you that story, those details tonight, and the other breaking news that they're covering of the day. I'll be honest, I haven't really been paying a whole lot of attention to anything else because we've been looking at weather models for these this storm, and then also there's like two areas. Oh wait, let me. I think I queued this up for you. Right. So there's two other areas that we're watching in the open Atlantic that could possibly develop. One of them, the one where you see the orange, it's actually already a closed low. We're just looking to see if it's going to get its act together and become a depression. The guidance says yes. There is about a 60% chance that this could become a depression over the course of the next week. And then the blob that you see in red, it's actually like just a disturbance. It's an unorganized area, a trough of low pressure, but it's not closed. But the ingredients are ripe, and a lot of the guidance is picking up on this, getting its act together, and this could become a tropical depression also over the course of the next week. It's been kind of quiet for a while, and now the gas is kind of turning up in the tropics. So we will continue to follow this, and obviously our local weather at home. The cool thing is that we're going to actually have some new data on our rainfall totals, and I'm expecting the numbers to come down a little bit because I told you that Euro was being real bullish with the rain totals. So if you want to check us out tonight at 10 and 11, we'll go through that data. As far as everyone else that's interested in this, tomorrow morning, meteorologists Rodney Harris, Ella Dorsey, and Courtney Jacobazzi, they will be doing a stream tomorrow at, I think, 10 o'clock. To give you guys the latest update and like a little bit of a deeper dive on this system, but also our local impacts. And then tomorrow night, meteorologist Cutter Martin will probably be doing this for me. So we will be at 8 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be doing this again, whether it's me, whether it's it won't be me, whether it's Cutter or Fred. You'll see when they get here. But we got you covered, guys. For now, I'm gonna leave y'all with a beautiful shot of our city. I thought I was. Oops, petty. Give you a shot of the newsroom, the producer pod for the Dayside people that are all gone. We'll catch you. We got you covered, guys, and I will see y'all on the airwaves in about an hour and 38 minutes. Have a fantastic rest of your Monday.